Yo, everybody. So I want to talk today about this Joe Mixon thing. Not if he's a good enough running back, not if he should play in the league, but if he deserves to be on the Eagles roster. Is what he did in his past, is that make him undraftable? He shouldn't be on the Eagles because the Eagles are too good and holy to have a man who made a mistake play on their team? I think that's the most ridiculous thing. I think what's even worse is that if you look at his situation, it happened a few years ago. But people who wanted to hurt this guy for the rest of his life released the tape 2 years later, which is absolutely rotten. What he did was wrong, and it was a crime. The courts, the states, the schools, they all dealt with him. He paid his debt. And if he hasn't paid his debt, he has to finish paying his debt. But if you pay your debt, you should have the right to your life. And whatever his debt is determined by the courts and by the rules and by the laws, those must be paid when you commit a crime, any of us. But when your crime is done, when you've paid it, you have the right to your life. Nobody can take that away from you. And what they tried to do to him was take it away from him. And then the NFL wouldn't even invite him to the combine because they didn't want a guy like that because they think it makes them look bad. But I think they look worse because of the way they approach all their players. This is a league, and you hear it in the media, and you hear, especially in Philly media, you hear it a lot. A player playing in the NFL, they should know it's a privilege, not a right to play in the NFL. Okay? That's what they say. But my answer to that is this. Where does a privilege supersede a right? Never. A privilege never supersedes a right. So, that means you can't use the league and giving a guy a job and paying him money and saying to him, you don't have the right to speak out. You don't have the right to own a gun. You don't have the right, the constitutional rights that you were born with because we're going to allow you to play in the NFL. That's wrong, and that should be illegal, and that should be stopped. And that's what I'm against. And the players with their player union are really pitiful because they put up with it. I wouldn't put up with it. Okay? You have a right to say what you want. You have a right to have what you want, to do what you want. They test these guys. They tell them they can't protect their families or themselves and have a gun. They can't say what they want. They can't do any of these things. And then they're told because it's a privilege to play in the NFL. The reason they're playing in the NFL isn't because they were invited. I am not getting no invitation to the NFL. They play in the NFL because they're good enough. They're good enough, and the owners can make money off of them playing for them. It's a fair trade, and they don't own the players. It's a trade. And the players should stand up to that crap and say, you know what, we'll go start our own league and we'll be in control of it and we don't need the NFL. You know what will happen? People will watch them. They won't watch the NFL because they're the ones with the talent. They're the ones that people are watching. And they let this crap happen all the time. I think it's wrong. I think the union, the players union, needs to get some libertarians and some constitutionalists in there and some people to stand up for their rights and protect these guys. Instead, some kid who commits a crime 2 years ago, he's going to suffer his whole life because of it while they make money off him. I think it sucks, man. And you know what? I said the same thing with Michael Vick. When he came to Eagles, I was happy to have him with Eagles. I was. Because he deserved the chance. He paid his debt. He should be able to play. And the same with Mixon. So I get sick and tired of hearing any of these people out there saying that he shouldn't play because he committed something, he did something horrible. He did do something horrible, but he paid his debt. So he should be playing. And I hope the Eagles draft him, and I hope he kicks everybody's ass. That's what I think.